The year is 1917. The US has just entered World War I. Brave soldiers across the nation are volunteering to fight for their country. Our story follows a young recruit, Edwin Howard Armstrong.
I was born on December 18th, 1890, in New York City. I studied electrical engineering at Columbia University, where I became a professor after graduation. Forgoing modesty, throughout my studies, I made significant contributions to the radio industry. When the war broke out, I knew I could do more.
Having been offered a captaincy in the Single Corps, Armstrong is sent to Europe to aid in the setup of the Army's communication system. It is clear to the US and their allies that they could use radio for direction finding, which is the measurement of the distance between radio signals. However, there are issues with the current radio design, and they aren't up to military standards. A solution was needed. This is where our young protagonist comes in.
I happened to be watching a night bombing raid in Paris and wondered at the ineffectiveness of the anti-aircraft fire. I may say that night bombing was not very dangerous in those days, either for the man on the ground or the man in the airplane. Thinking of some way of improving the methods of locating the position of airplanes, I conceived the idea that perhaps the very short waves sent out from them by the motor ignition systems might be used. The unique nature of the problem, involving the amplification of waves shorter than any ever contemplated and quite insoluble by any conventional means of reception, demanded a radical solution. The superheterodyne method of amplification was practically forced into existence.
The superheterodyne is an invisible invention. Ask anyone other than an engineer, and chances are they haven't even heard of it. But without a doubt, it is the only reason we have a reliable radio infrastructure today.
Thank you very much, I appreciate that.
It works by mixing the incoming radio frequency with a local frequency that the radio set itself produces. The two waveforms cancel out in some areas, while combining in others. The resulting third frequency has a much narrower range, making amplification far easier and eliminating the need to tune the amplifier. This new method of amplification eliminated several problems that plagued the technology for years. First of all, the superheterodyne only needed to be tuned with one knob. Gone were the days of finicky, difficult-to-tune receivers. This significantly decreased the amount of time required for tuning the receiver, as the amplifier didn't need to be tuned every time, like the radios of old.
Armstrong's invention changed everything. After his return from military service in France in November of 1919, the Radio Club of America held a dinner in his honor to recognize his contributions to the war effort. The French even named his Chevalier of the Legion of Honor for his invention. World War I offered the opportunity for rapid acceleration in radio technology development, and the contributions made since could not have happened without the superheterodyne receiver. It even remains a standard model of radio receiver still used today, and will most likely survive long into the future. To this day, Edwin Howard Armstrong is described by many as one of the most brilliant and creative engineers of the 20th century.